Alright, cockpit is installed on the starboard side. Everything's in now, all the 3D decals, harnesses. I'm not sure, like the harness is installed where it's meant to be, and that's how far they come down. Turn up in the seat. I'm not sure if that's actually long enough, that's how long they were or what, but anyway, that's how it works on that set. I think it's the battery in the back there. Once the fuselage is shut, you're not going to see that, but if you wanted to, I guess you could run wires, but I don't know which way they run. I'm not sitting there Googling for an hour trying to find out which way they go, so I'm just going to leave it like that. But it's got the 3D decals on it as well, and again, you won't see them. It has had a wash. It's a light wash. I'm not weathering it heavily, so I've just done like a pin wash. Used dark wash. I've got a heap of these washes, but I would have preferred like a dark brown. This is a browny colour, but the that Tamiya one I got, I don't know, I think it's gone off or something, because this one, when I use it, if I apply it and it pools, when I come back in with white spirit to knock it back, it stains. It doesn't go back how it would with the other one, so I don't know, I might need to get a new one, because I used to like using that one, but it hasn't been working well. Last couple of times I tried it. The instrument panel is extremely busy with bezels and switches and that. I don't really want to get in there and try and knock that back with anything, with a wash or the F117 you saw I did I used pencil to dirty it up, but this one, yeah, I'm not keen on doing anything to it, so I'm probably just going to leave it. Yeah, so it's very lightly weathered. The exterior will probably be similar anyway. I'm not going to beat it to hell or anything. So the other thing I'd add was that cable in there. There's one in there, goes down there. You got a throttle or something down there on the side that attaches to the little bulkhead down there that comes up next to the seat. Yeah, so that's all done. That's glued in, obviously. Now I need to attach this side, which is a bit of a chore on a dry fit. Anyway, I don't know, might be right. Oh, that's all good, and that's in. The side ones I haven't glued to the bottom. They're just clipped in. That one I think the fuselage should hold that in, but I'll check. I'll probably just glue it in and then check down the bottom afterwards if I need to glue it at all, but I think it should be alright. Once that's glued together, then it's on to the control surfaces and the wings. Alright, fuselage is glued together. I have to clean up the seam join yet. I haven't done it yet. It seems to have fit alright. As mentioned, I haven't glued in there that bit, so see how all the wing fits on there. Alright, made up the open door that I need for the one I'm doing, so no problems there. Alright, I've started on the control surfaces. So this is the left horizontal stabilizer. Again, I haven't cleaned up the seam join. So it'll go in there. You can see I've got a glue mark there. Standard operating procedure for me. Alright, so you got these little control tabs. They got extremely small pins on them that will sit inside there's recesses in the bottom part of the stabilizer. So if you're careful and you can glue them that they won't get stuck, you can move them, but it's all or nothing. So I'm probably gonna, well, I'll have a look at some images if I can find them parked, how they looked, but I doubt you can get a photo that's that close. So that will eventually end up on here like that. I will pose the control surface down a bit, as I usually do in builds, just to add interest to the look of the model. But these here I may have to glue in the end anyway, because I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know if they just flop down like that or not. I don't imagine they would, but I don't know. Right. The rudder again's got that control tab, same thing. Little pins to put in there. That one you might be able to pose it off a bit. The thing is, I haven't got this part off the sprue yet, but it looks to me that you can only pose it one way, because that part is just a set part and it's going to have it straight, whereas I'd prefer to have it just a bit of an angle on it. So I may have to modify this part when I get around to that. I'm not I haven't cut it off yet, but I'm guessing by the look of it, it's just going to have it set straight. I need to clean up all the control surfaces, the seam joints, sort that out. Alright, let me grab the wing. Alright, so I've started on this. This is a pretty big section. You got a lot going on here with wing spars and stuff, so yeah. So that's that piece in there, F60 and F30. There's no problems, just there's heaps of sprue gates to clean up, like heaps of these to cut off and clean up. And then you get your main wing spar there. You have to glue in these two parts for which is these. That's for the landing gear leg, I'm guessing. I haven't looked that far ahead. So just make sure they are orientated right, otherwise that's going to cause you much difficulty. This instruction here is nice and clear. You can see the red, that's how they face. When you turn the page, the image of this is, I don't know what the heck's going on there, but it don't look like that. So make sure you go from the previous page. Alright, so that's F33 sitting there. I haven't glued any of this. They tell you straight up. Use the sub-assembly 56 and part F33, which is that one, and this, as an alignment guide for building steps 58 to 60. So all this, well, really all this just to here, and that says do not glue until step 65, which is the next page, and they have the image there, glue. Basically, just it's so you get it all on right, because this, You can see I've got Tamiya tape there, and it's even pulling it up. That wing spar is like a angled up like a V, not that steep, but like that. And the actual wing isn't. The wing's pretty much flat, so it's got to pull the wing up into the spar. So just this is why they're telling you cut it all, the parts, sit it in, and then you can start gluing it so it pulls in. This is all, you know, important for your alignment of looking at the model. You don't want wings misaligned. So that I've glued. All right, we got here. I'll take that out. So you got the wheel well, which is F40, F41, F34. So F40 and 34 got tabs that glue onto that wing spar. And then the other one just pushes in. There's a slot and a tab that just push in, so there's no problem. And then you just align it with the recess. So you got a recess in there like that, push in. There's plenty of wiggle room here, so like I said, get it all together, and then you come along and just start gluing bit by bit, mate. That's how I'm going to do it anyway. Glue a bit, make sure the glue bites, the part sitting there, then move on. Yeah, so then the wing continues on. You got all the wing spars or ribs inside the wing going on. There's heaps each side, and then you're starting to get into the gun bay. Some pipe work there. But basically it's just mirrored left and right. Still going. More parts for the guns. You're actually building the guns, installing the guns, and then you finally get up to the stage where you can attach the wing to the fuselage. But for now I need to back here and just plug away on this. I'll as mentioned earlier, I'm just following their instructions on this build, and I'm not going off doing how I usually do things. Start at the end and go to the middle, and then start at the beginning. Alright, so I'll keep coming along here, and I'll come back and see when it's all glued how it looks. Alright, got one side of the wing done there. Just let me go back a couple of pages. I should have mentioned earlier. Okay, they're calling out here, you have to remove some plastic. So if you can see that shape there, that clamp or whatever it is, semicircle shape, there was one this side you have to remove. It's pointing, you can see it pointing to there. No idea why, but I've done it because I know this is, I don't know if it's the second or third boxing of this aircraft in the scale, so perhaps it's different that way. And also you need to drill a hole here, which is called out for 1mm. There are other, you can see partly drilled holes, but there's no call for them because I'm guessing drop tank or something else, which this one does not have. Alright, so I've put in my, as mentioned, I laid out the gear bays and those four structural bits, the spars or the ribs, whatever you call them, in. Then I started over on the left side, glued a bit, and I got it to bite, and then gradually went along and across. So now the wing's got that upwards tilt to match the spar. Then you start on the ribs. couple of them you need to glue some little pipes onto. So 66, and so the top 3 there are for the left wing. So there's your machine gun or cannon bullets. So then the previous page, the 66 with the pipe in it, and so that's that one. And 67 is that one. So they're in. I've got some loose parts in there, these pipes, for the reason being I want to paint it. Alright, I'll get to that. I'll paint it with them out. So let me remove that and I'll discuss that. So alright, anyone who's followed me on my builds, I like to see the lines of an aircraft, so I don't usually do panels off on that. However, this kit is a lot of money and there's a lot of internals that can be viewed if you like, or you don't have to. And obviously everyone has personal tastes on how they like a model. Some people like the interior structural engineering and that, to see all that. I just prefer the lines, the outside of the aircraft, because my favourite part of modelling is painting. I just like doing the paint. But because you're paying for all this plastic, I'm going to display some of it, not all of it. So those of you again who have watched a lot of my builds, you may or may not have noticed I usually display a certain way, whether that's, I don't know, just how my brain works or it's OCD, but I usually display a model, especially when I do bases. This won't have a base, but when I do bases, I display the aircraft going back towards the right rear and coming forward to front left. So I'm going to have the left wing panels off, so therefore I need to paint all this interior, which is the gear bay is the underside colour, which will be a medium sky grey on this particular Australian Air Force Spitfire, and all this other area is aluminium, and obviously the bullets need to be painted brass and they're like black. So that's why I haven't glued those pipes in, so I can spray in there and then spray them and put them in. Other side, I will put all the internals in because it's part of the structure for the top wing to glue to or sit on, but you won't see it. You also have panels on the bottom below the guns, so that I'll leave them off on the left wing, and right wing will be just normal, covered up. That way you can see what's going on, what's of the aircraft and the kit, what you're able to do with the kit. But I also like to see a wing with the RAF Randall on it, so I get both things going on. Same as when I do Navy aircraft, I always do one wing folded, one wing out, so you can see the capabilities of the aircraft and how it looks one way or the other. So that's the structure. Now it's just the guns that need to go in. You can see there your gun panels on the underside for the air crew or maintenance crew to access. Also, obviously this kit has, let me put that out the way, but I'm nowhere near that yet. But you have an engine, full engine, same again. I'm going to have it so the front, or not front, obviously the engine's front, the left side I'll have the cowl off to display that side of the engine, but I also want the cowl on so you can see the shape of the aircraft and that shark mouth which is on this scheme. So that's how I'll display it. There's a lot of, again, obviously you got a whole heap of steps for the engine and the engine frame that rests on, holds it in to the aircraft. A lot going on, so that's down the track, but a lot to do there. As for, I can't tell you how accurate it is or what. I'm just going to assume Airfix have know the subject matter for a British aircraft and they've got it right. Same as the guns, and I don't know how detailed or accurate they are. Again, I'll just assume that it's good to go. There is no aftermarket guns or engine as far as I'm aware for it, so the kit is what you have. Anyway, so that's one side done. I'll do the other side and then I can start painting the internal. So it's pretty much just aluminium. 11 I think is silver in Humbrol, but I'll probably use the dark aluminium again just to dull it a bit. And as I mentioned, the underside colour is the wheelbase colour. I've started filling in the bottom there. I've sanded the back, filled in a couple I need to sand it back a bit more. I can see some. I used super glue or CA glue with this glue filler, which is just a fancy bottle of talcum powder, I imagine, but you just mix a bit with your super glue, whatever brand you use. And you just mix it up. If you've never seen or heard of this theory, it's been around forever, it's nothing new. If you mix talcum powder, so you don't, I bought that bottle just because it's small, it'll last me a lifetime, but you can use your talcum powder you use on children and that, it's the same thing. Well, I assume it's what it is. You mix it up, it makes it a bit thicker and it dries quicker, dries pretty quick. You won't have much working time with that, especially in my crappy summer environment. It'll, I don't know, it might last 5 minutes and it'll set, but it's just quicker, it's thicker than just the CA glue by itself, and it's good for filling gaps. Seeing this is a larger scale, I'll just mix that up. I think here I'm going to have a bit of a gap, perhaps, I don't know, I'll see. Anyway, so that's filled, looks good. I just need to put in my panel line and rivets back in. Might need a touch there. No, wrong one. And you've got a few minutes and that'll be set, ready to sand back. I use CA glue for that reason. It dries pretty much straight away, and it will definitely not shrink back, and you'll never have an issue with it. Whereas putties shrink over time. And I won't even talk about sprue glue because, yeah. So just continue on there, paint that up, start doing the guns, and then you attach the bottom wing to the fuselage before you put the top wings on. So we'll see how far I get today before the heat kicks in. Alright, seam joins are cleaned up on the control surface as well. I've glued the rudder on, as mentioned. I've given it a bit of an angle. That's still a loose fit. I can move that. What I've done to achieve the angle is the actuator. I cut the rod off both ends, glued these parts in position. So now I'll trim that to suit and glue it back in. If you just take the part off the sprue and put it on, you have to have the rudder straight. I didn't want that, I want a bit of angle. These are loose fit, they're not right. It's got dihedral, they're coming up, that's not right, it should be flat. So I'm going to have to have a look and see why that's going on like that. Because of the dihedral, there's a big gap on the bottom, they need to be flat and flush. So I'll try and sort that fit out. What else? That's pretty much it. I've glued the trim tabs in position as well, so they're not flopping around. I don't think I mentioned either when I was for the control surfaces, there's 2 lots on one sprue, so make sure you follow your part call out. This is for one of the other variants, the Mk.IX or whatever one they produce first, I guess. So yeah, just be sure to use the correct parts. So I've got to sort that out, and then I'll start. I haven't painted the wing yet. I've got the other side in. So I've got to paint that up, sort out these, and then I can glue this on. Alright, so nothing's glued here, it's just all dry fit. So pop that off. So I've painted the interior of the gearbase medium sea grey. Painted aluminium in here. I've gone beyond where I need to be sure that when we put wings and stuff on, that everything needs to be covered is covered. I haven't cleaned the ejection ports yet, so I just wanted a quick look at what's going on. So that's all right. I have to paint the bullets yet, and this will come in on the underside. It won't fit neat. I'll have to pull the fuselage in by the looks of it, but the front, so that frame or that bulkhead, the bottom rests in the recess in there. And what I'm going to do is glue the wing section on first before I do the horizontal stabilizers, so I can use the wing for alignment, make sure it's all squared up. That's it for me for today. It's starting to get too hot. I need to finish packing some models for transport, the ones I sold from QMHE, and get ready to watch the second test match of the Ashes. Watch the Aussies give it to the Poms.